Before we dive into the blood-soaked madness of this 88 film slasher classic collection review, a quick heads up for listeners and viewers alike. These episodes come straight from the podcast Under the Stairs archives, recorded before the launch of the YouTube channel and long before video podcasts became part of the show. These reviews were originally crafted purely for audio. So if the production feels a little rougher around the edges or a little more stripped back than current episodes, that's because you're hearing the show in its earlier form, raw, passionate, and let's be honest, a little waffly at times. Whether you're revisiting these reviews or discovering them for the first time, please sit back and relax and enjoy this trip through the golden age of mass killers, inventive gore, and VH era nightmares. This podcast is not safe for work and will feature movie spoilers. It will feature scenes described of a graphic nature. It will contain language which most listeners may find offensive. Welcome to the podcast Under the Stairs. Hi everyone and welcome to the podcast Under the Stairs. This is the 88 Films Slasher Classics series of reviews. We're looking at disc number 4 today. It's Splatter University. I'm your host Duncan. Welcome to the show. That's right, we are continuing our run of shows every 2 weeks looking at the Slasher Classic series, and for the last year every alternative Sunday I've been looking at a little bit of those 88 Films Italian collection series as well. So this is a week of the slasher, next week back to our Italian collection, and we will continue on in that vibe for the rest of the year, ladies and gents. I hope you are doing well out there. It's been a few days since I've recorded, and a lot has happened in those few days. I've been out and about doing things at Fright Fest, so yeah, it feels good to be sitting down back behind the mic. I would say, and I'll go into a bit more detail on tomorrow's episode, which is going to be a Fright Fest special episode. I just do want to throw out a huge thanks to the fantastic lads from Scott Liam vs Evil who allowed me to tag along with them throughout the weekends at Fright Fest, and it was a ton of fun. I had an absolute fucking riot hanging out with those two fine gents, the respective partners and friends, over the weekend watching horror movies. I mean, is there anything better than watching horror movies with friends? If there is, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know, because that's my favourite thing to do. So yeah, this is your final episode of this week, and what a week it's been, ladies and gents. We cruised out February with ease and right into March, which is scary. Third month of the year, almost a quarter of the way through the year already. Can you believe it? I know, kind of scary, but yeah, we're closing out this week on a high note, doing one of these slasher classic episodes. Next week we will continue the burn. It's all about pushing the extremity of what we can do on podcasts Under the Stairs and keeping the content flowing to you. Next week is going to be a busy week for podcasts Under the Stairs. In fact, March in general is going to be heavily laden with content, so get yourself ready for it, because it's coming to get you. We are kicking off tomorrow with, like I said at the start, a Fright Fest special episode, mini reviews of all the movies that I checked out over the weekend at Fright Fest and my opinions on them. I will tell you this, the quality of movies was generally very high, so I'm looking forward to chatting to them, telling you what ones I really enjoyed, what ones I thought were good, and there was a couple in there that I didn't like, so I will not pull my punches as always. There'll be non-spoiler reviews, so do not fret, and where I have information to pass on about releases, I will let you know. So that's coming Monday. On Wednesday, we will be dropping a very special bonus episode looking at Hole in the Ground, the brand new horror movie, which is out in the UK, came out on Friday. I think it's been out in the States for a couple of weeks maybe, so I'll be doing a special review of that one. On Thursday, we launch Movie Club for March, so yeah, more Movie Club coming your way. And then on Saturday, we do a little bit of work Once again, new horror movie review coming for you. I've got one that I have a screener for, and I'm kind of hoping I get the time to watch, review and send it out, so you will have that one at your disposal. Sunday is 88 Films Italian Collection Series. Monday, as planned just now, it might get shifted a week, but Monday, as planned just now, will be the return of Andy Blockley for Andy Loves Arthouse, looking at Gaspar Noé's Climax. So that's penciled in. That might, like I say, get shifted a week. If it does, then trust me, I will fill it with something interesting regardless. And yeah, that following week is just going to be a fucking smorgasbord of awesome. There's so much horror to talk about at the moment. It's kinda insane. So yeah, there we go. All the stuff that is upcoming for you, dear ladies and gents out there. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got business to do on this show. So I'm going to take a break right now. You're going to hear promos for shows that I love. You are going to hear the trailer for our fourth disc number 4 in the 88 Films Slasher Classic series. We are looking at the Trauma directed, produced / thingy, kinda. The Trauma production, that sounds good. Trauma production of Splatter University. I'm going to be back to discuss that film and a whole lot more right after this.
Hey, feeling down? Feeling low? Not enough podcasts about movies in your life? Why not try?
They must be destroyed on sight!
The new Podcast Cure-All, sure to get you right with the world and on a path to better living. We have exploitation, we have Italian horror, we have zombies, we have slashers, we have crime films, we have spaghetti westerns, we even have sci-fi and sex comedies. So take a dose of...
They must be destroyed on sight!
As needed, and let the hosts, Lee Russell, Daniel Harper, Paul Romali, and the odd guest host cure what ails you.
Warning, may cause atrophy, African consumption, black fever, bone shave, chin cough, colic, cramp colic, dropsy of the brain, elephantitis, grocer's itch, jaundice, mania, miasma, mortification, palsy, Pott's disease, rheumatism, scurvy, St. Anthony's fire, summer complaint, and worm fit in some people. Consult a physician before listening.
First, you were frightened by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then you were terrorized by Halloween. And now, prepare to be pulverized, traumatized, and hospitalized by... Splatter U. More horrifying than you could possibly imagine. Unlike anything you've ever seen. And more.
Hey guys, let's party!
Splatter University, where the school colors are blood red, and not only classes are cut.
Tom? If you think you're funny, you're not!
At Splatter U, everyone parties and has a ball. At Splatter U, it's not whether you pass or fail, but whether you live or die. And when you gotta go, you gotta go. Yes, at Splatter U, the only requirement is survival. Splatter U. It's the only education you'll ever need. Enroll now at a theater near you and earn a higher degree in blood-dripping terror. Splatter U.
And welcome back. So you've just said the trailer for disc number 4 in the 88 Films Slasher Classic series of reviews. We are looking at Splatter University, a first time watch for this reviewer here. Let's do the info like we always do right at the start from the 88 Films website. It says, unavailable in the UK since the glory days of VHS tapes, 1984's Splatter University makes its worldwide Blu-ray debut courtesy of 88 Films. One of the bloodiest and barmiest of all the 80s slice and dice shockers, this classic chiller headlines sexy scream queen Forbes Riley as a teacher trying to work out why her classes are featuring increasingly less students. A maniacal murder mystery that is not afraid to spill bucket loads of sanguine Splatter University is a fast-paced frightener that turns up the suspense en route to a truly shocking conclusion. From the maniacal mind of director Richard Haynes, who did Class of Nukem High, this exercise in horror insanity graduates with full honours. Presented uncut and uncensored from a new 2K scan supervised by the director, this is one lacerating lesson you'll never forget. Special features on this were obviously the brand new 2K restoration from the original 16mm interpositives, restored soundtrack, bonus film, Richard W. Haynes' What Really Frightens You from 2010, audio commentary by director Richard W. Haynes, a Splatter Scholar interview with slasher expert Justin Kerswell, a trailer, TV spots, trailer reel and reversible sleeve. So this is region unlocked because they said they were putting it out worldwide. And the runtime on this movie is a brisk 118 minutes long. That's right, nice and short. Gotta love those short, sharp slashers. So yeah, that's your info. I will say in terms of the bonus content, the What Really Frightens You is actually not bad. Not really my sort of thing. There's a certain degree of cheesiness that comes along with it that I think is maybe out of place in the year 2010. I checked out, I kind of, on my watch, I dropped in and out the director's commentary, which was actually really good, so I'm keen to go back and maybe less pay attention to this movie. I'll get to that shortly, and maybe more pay attention to what the director has to say. The interview with slasher expert Justin Kerswell, also great as well. I find sometimes that slasher minds can be a bit, very much like myself with Jallows, can put the blinders on and sometimes not see the faults in movies, but Kerswell appeared to just be shooting from the hip and giving you a very honest opinion of what he felt, so I thought that was good as well. So yeah, in terms of the if I pair up where we were with the Italian Collector series, by this point the special features on the slasher ones are clearly better. There's more going into them. I don't know if there's a language barrier thing with the Italian ones that just isn't here, or just people are more eager to talk about their work in slasher movies from the 80s. Don't know, but I'm enjoying it anyway, and I look forward to checking out more of those special features as we go on. But let's talk about the movie. So the movie opens with a little statement on the screen saying William Graham, who suffers from paranoid schizophrenia. Graham, interestingly enough, spelt as in like grey the colour and ham as in the thing you eat, which is quite interesting. I've got a brother named Graham who is in Scotland. Graham is spelled E-M-E, G-R-A-E-M-E. It's a Scottish spelling. The English spelling is H-A-M. Graham, and I've seen various different spellings or variations of that. I've seen H-A-M-E. I've never seen Grayham, which I'm assuming must be the surname spelling. So I don't know why I took so much. I took so much time to do that because this review is going to be a weird one, so stick with me. Anyway, he's got paranoid schizophrenia and he's missing, and yeah, we follow people trying to find him, right? Amongst the variety of quote unquote psychiatric patients here who are not portrayed well. Let's be honest, they're portrayed in that 80s film aesthetic where it's kind of half between Animal House and half between fucking Freaks. It's not really well done. I actually felt quite uncomfortable with some of the portrayals here, but let's not get too far ahead. So yeah, we are trying to find this guy. We have an orderly that goes to a cupboard, opens the cupboard, and then is stabbed in the dick. That's right, this movie starts with a dick stabbing. Now, I will say, and you will have to excuse the pun, it is ballsy to go out with a dick stabbing at the start, but this movie does it. It doesn't do it really well. It doesn't look like the guy's put much force into it either. The blade doesn't look all that sharp, but there is a plethora, a tsunami of ridiculously bright kind of poster paint blood that appears on the orderly's overalls as he kind of stumbles down, looking kind of like he's had an accident, but instead of piss, it was blood. We've all been there, you know. You've peed so hard you've bled. I don't know where I'm going with that either. That wasn't funny. Don't laugh at it and don't even smile. Please promise me you didn't do that. So yeah, he dies, and our psychiatric patient decides to dress as the Doctor with a giant fucking bloodstain down the dick space of his trousers. It's very, very, very strange. But yeah, he just walks out the front door in these bloody uniforms, which doesn't make any sense, but we're going to stick with it. And then, still in the same intro, we jump forward 3 years later. For no reason at all. Like, no reason at all. This teacher is in our class, and she goes to answer the door. And once again, in the very lackluster, lackadaisical, non-interest stabbing motion, she is stabbed in the tit. So yeah, we are going to, firstly, stabbing the dick, to stabbing in the tit. So there you go. And this literally concludes the opening of this movie, and now we're going to jump into the main throng of this movie. And at this point, Duncan's eyes are rolling because he's already of the opinion that he's not going to like this movie very much, and we better settle in. The only saving grace being it's an hour and 20 minutes long. So let's see where the movie moves next. So a few things made me laugh as much, I mean, like, physically laugh out loud to the point where I felt like I was going to pass out. Then the next caption that comes up on the screen, so we've had this teacher that's been murdered. The caption on the screen tells us that we're at St Trinian's College. It's the next semester, but it's yesterday, which, like, my head literally did the scanners thing. It was like fucking exploded. I understand what they're trying to mean, but this is like the worst placement on the screen ever. So basically what they're saying is we're jumping forward to the next semester, but in the timeline of things that are going to happen, we're jumping back a day. But the way it's written on the screen is if this event happens right after the event we've seen as the next semester, which is technically the day before when that teacher's been killed, which doesn't make any sense. And it was at that point I realised that maybe my attention in the opening 5 minutes had been usurped here because I was trying to make sense of a movie which had a kind of lackluster killer, and the pursuit of trying to work out time is not one that's going to be fruitful in the viewing. And I was right, so let's not do that. So yeah, we fall into what can only be described as a very, very, very familiar territory of kind of slasher stories. We're at this St Trinian school for the... I don't have a clue. All I'm going to say is it should have been called St Trinian School for the fashionably challenged. The fashionably challenged people in this movie are, I mean, the hair is out of control. What they're wearing is borderline fucking offensive to the eyes. And no one at this school at all is nice. Everyone is potentially a date raper, or like some sort of, on the cusp of serial killer. I mean, these are the likable characters. Like, everyone is a reprobate. They're all pretty much either drinking and trying to forcibly have sex on each other, which, once again, in today's climate, doesn't play very well on the screen, I'm afraid. But yeah, no one speaks nice to each other. No one is a likable character, and but they do drink a lot. And yeah, I mean, this is where we are. And then basically, at pace, the more increasingly annoying characters die off one at a time as this mysterious killer prowls the university. I will say this, the deaths got slightly better as the movie went on. So from that point of view, I quite liked some of them. And the ending builds up to it builds up to what I had heard beforehand was going to be this shocking reveal, a ballsy reveal, which isn't really. The killer's identity is not obvious, if you know what I mean. It's very obvious who the killer is in this movie, and I don't even think you necessarily need to be a slasher fan or a horror fan to pick this one out quick. What was really funny is after the fact I thought I'd check out the trailer, and the trailer gives away who the killer is as well, so I thought that was kind of silly. And also this movie kills off what we would class as the final girl about 25 minutes from the end. In a way, what I would class as like the character that I would bestow the final girl properties to. She dies early, which, I mean, on some level might be something you could credit the movie with, that is trying to subvert that, but looking at the overall execution of the movie, it's difficult to see that. Because it's a trauma movie as well, most of the acting, if not all the acting, is of a very low level. There's a couple of performances which aren't too bad. The soundtrack fits the movie quite well, but tonally it's all over the place. There is like kind of trauma-esque humour in parts, which is juxtaposed by this trying to find the killer thing, which doesn't really marry up or work all that well. And ultimately what you're left with is generally a very inept slasher. By 84, if we're doing the math here, we're doing the mental arithmetic. 84 is the beginning of when things start to change for slashers. I mean, we've already went through what would be the kind of push of and decline, so the expansion and the compression of slasher movies by this point, that we're looking for something to take us on, and we are just mere months away by the time this movie comes out from being given the opportunity to sit down and check out A Nightmare on Elm Street, which, even for all its flaws, is something that really turns the genre on its head. It just feels tired, it feels like lazy filmmaking, it feels opportunistic. And yeah, there are just so many other movies out there that have something I can hang my hat on at least and say, for all its ineptitude, there's something here that's worth checking out. And Slasher University just doesn't have that. I get the feeling that at times people at labels feel the need to put things out that haven't been available on DVD because of these memories they have of the VHS era, and just because something hasn't made its way to digital format doesn't mean it needs to make its way to digital format. This is a movie that just, I don't necessarily think brings anything at all to the genre. It really is a lackluster, very lazy, very ill put together, clearly can see the seams in this movie. According to the trivia that I read about the movie as well, it was originally shot as an hour-long movie, and they somehow managed to put an extra 18 minutes in here, and I can see it. It feels like someone is like sellotaped in, or scotch tape if you're Americans out there who don't know what sellotape is. Scotch taped in some additional scenes here just for padding, and there's a lot of padding in this movie. It never really finds its foot, it never really finds the suspense it's aiming for, it never really finds its comedy feet either. And as a result, it kind of pads around the room like a nearsighted person missing their glasses, trying to find the door. That behind that door is anything of interest, and unfortunately, we're trapped in a room of mediocrity. Yeah, it's just not great. It's not great at all. I knew I was going to have to watch these sort of movies in the Classics collection. It just is. It is worrying me that we are 4 movies into this series already, and I've already come across 2 movies that I don't like. This one is not as bad as Don't Go in the Woods Alone, but it's marginally better. And that's it. Like, marginally is what we're talking about here. We're talking about metrics of a fucking testicle hair better. Yeah, this one is not for me at all. I will never watch Slasher University again. I did a bit of research because I thought maybe I was just in the wrong state of mind when I watched it this morning. So I did a bit of research, and there's people out there saying, this is, it should be held in kind of fond reverence with movies like Pieces, and I completely disagree, because I know for a fact that the filmmaker making Pieces thought he was making something better than what came out. There's no one in this movie trying to make anything better than what you see, and with every passing second that the movie's out there, it is horribly dated and just not good. So yeah, that is my opinions on Slasher University. Now, the fun bit, to give this one a grade. And yeah, I really can't go any higher at all than a 1.5 for this one, so it sits between really didn't like it and hated it. We're still to find something that I'm just like, oh fuck this movie, and I don't know if we will ever get to that level, but we are skirting dangerously close to it, ladies and gents. We're looking into the precipice and into the abyss right now, and that abyss looks deep. There's a lot of films in this collection, and I'm starting to get concerned that maybe I have picked a full series which is going to deliver very few highlights. in stark contrast to the Italian collection, which has given me so much to celebrate. So there we go. Right, I'm going to take my final break of this episode. When I come back, I'm closing out the show. I'm doing it right after this. And you've been listening to the podcast Under the Stairs. We have just reviewed disc number 4 of the 88 Films Slasher Classic Collection. It was a little movie called Splatter University. I did not like it. So yeah. Woo. Yeah, I'm starting to get concerned. I really am. Maybe disc 5 will set things right. We will be reviewing it in 2 weeks' time. Disc number 5 in the collection is Slaughterhouse. Let's see what it says on the 88 Films website. It says, if you love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I do, and The Hills Have Eyes, which I do, then you are sure to pig out with the sickle shocks of 80s fright favourite Slaughterhouse. This corp-ridden classic introduced one of the screen's most memorable madmen in Buddy, a cleaver-wielding backwoods baddie who, along with his father Lester, doesn't take kindly to trespassers. Buddy was brought up killing and packing meat, and now his rage turns to teens and market capitalists seeking to buy out his dad's property. The end result is a tongue-in-cheek terror totem that returns from the VHS vaults to Blu-ray in this great new HD master scan from the original negatives by director Rick Rosier. This has as special features a all region code, so it's uncut for the world, brand new director approved uncut HD transfer, an interview with the director, a 2015 audio commentary with the director and Jerry on Co interview, raw on the set footage, Buddy Meets the Public feature, theatrical trailers, TV spots, a no smoking trailer, 88 Films trailer reel and reversible sleeve. So that one is coming next. I've never seen Slaughterhouse. I know nothing about Slaughterhouse, so I am interested to check out Slaughterhouse and see where we go when that one drops. That one's coming out in 2 weeks' time. Next Sunday we will be doing the 88 Films Italian Classic Series, continuing on with that. There's a multitude of ways to check out podcasts Under the Stairs. As always, I say check us out on Apple Podcasts. Come across, subscribe to the feed. That way you get the shows as and when they drop, and access to the entire back catalogue of Teapot's content. But don't stop there. Leave us a rating and a review. They're the best way to support us on that platform. You can also check us out at Stitcher Smart Radio, SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn and Spotify. Visit our website, it's teapotscast.com. Come and buy some merch, posters and enamel pins. That money comes back and supports what we do Under the Stairs by going to teapotscast.bigcartel.com. We are in 2 places on Facebook. If you want to join the group page and interact with other listeners and do all the weird shit that they do over there, it's facebook.com/groups/teapotscast. If you just want to know when the shows are dropping, check out a live stream of the occasional Thursday, then what you want to do is go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/teapotscast. Ooh, there we go. You can interact with me and the Baz and the Twin Prongs of social media sexiness. Instagram and Twitter both can be followed at TeapotsCast. The podcast Under the Stairs will return tomorrow with our Fright Fest 2019 Glasgow coverage, reviewing the movies with many reviews and telling you what I thought of the festival overall tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But wherever you are, what the time zone is and whatever you're up to in this big bad world of ours, please take care of yourselves out there. This is Duncan McLeish broadcasting live from Under the Stairs, and I am signing off.